Stand, one nation, under. With the daily record in compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Attendant?
Councilwoman White, Councilman Lorenzo,
Present.
Councilman Garcia.
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence?
Buses is no longer doing busing. Their buses are old, they're not gonna repair them, they let all, I told them no.
Who is this, ESC?
No,
Okay.
the business administrator over there as well. I don't know how much they know or don't know, but anyway, they know that we're asking questions about, you know, the company, if they do have a contract, are we gonna be a part of that so we know what's going on?
For us.
Yes.
So what are they involved?
I mean, I don't know if they do anybody else, but yes, they do. Was there anything as to why they do us, or what? Do you know?
And the reason they did ours, there was a big mess about the
First on the
So what I,
Anybody qualified right now here?
not here within our town, no. Our construction code official is a zoning officer.
It is?
Yes. I can ask him, but the last time I asked him, he didn't want to do it. He said it was too much to do. On top of being our plumbing inspector and our
Right.
code enforcement officer as far as, you know, the construction department. But I can ask him again.
Well, ask him again, see what he said. Maybe he changed his mind.
To decide on what the pay scale is going to be.
Well, we also have to, you know, when I found out she was retiring, which was only, what, a week or, well, we also have to, you know, when I found out she was retiring, which was only, what, a week or two ago, you know, I started calling around, and I found a couple zoning officers that.
Okay, good. Okay. Open and close the playground about the disinfecting.
Yeah, I gave some information to the attorney, but, I called around to 25 towns since the last council meeting. Some of them I had to wait for him to get back to me, but out of the 25, Phil, do you have that?
Yes.
Where I wrote that? Old, I mean, their parks are open, but their playgrounds are not.
Well, sanitizing twice a week, it's like not sanitizing.
The parks are open, but their playgrounds are not.
Well, sanitizing twice a week, it's like not sanitizing.
Around it says stay home if sick, practice social distancing of 6 feet or more, cover coughs and sneezes, wash hands often, avoid touching face, and have a cloth face covering unless your age or your health says that you can't do it. So I gave that to the attorney and still.
Well, that's another matter of enforcement, I mean.
Can we put a sign up that says use at your own risk, or is there a sign already?
You don't need that.
There isn't a sign there, but,
basis, I don't think we should reopen it or even consider it until next year.
It's up to council to
I
decide.
really
Right
don't
now,
have anyone up there who's constantly sanitizing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that we should take the risk.
I can't build anything.
it's up to council.
Yeah,
Dump wide open.
Mm-hmm.
I have the plans here, the, are. For the,
Making extra money.
and
because,
what about the retaining wall? I need to put a driveway in and the wall's falling over.
well, Leon's looking into that, he said he might be able to do a change order, to have them, you know, do something to push that wall back. But he said that if we, I don't know how nicely they're gonna look upon Victor Yorins if we turn the money back twice.
Fact that the handicap parking and anything related to that has to have specific, direction and guidance.
Glass,
Yes.
Councilman Lorenzo.
Yes.
Meeting. So it's an ordinance providing for improvements to the needs of the borough.
Okay, we need a motion.
And parking lot.
Second,
Roll call.
Councilwoman Cheatham?
yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is medical marijuana dispensary.
We talked about, let you know that I did speak with Barry. Woman Cheatham, she's not really in favor of having it there at all. And then council says, no, we're not doing it. Doing it or you're not doing it, you're for it or you're against it.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you have to do something.
Personally, I am not in favor of it. And I was looking at information, with the positives and the negatives on it and how it influenced communities, what was going on there, if there was a raise, if there was an increase in crime. And some of the negatives were that people were driving under the influence. We don't have a police department. So as we are having problems with getting some things done now,
Everyone in the table over here and decide idea one. I would like to see everyone in the table over here and deciding for that, because it might be good for us, even when it brings some bad stuff to us. At some point it's gonna come no matter what.
Sure.
I think we gotta let it sit for a little while and
Can't hear you.
You can authorize such a place, but it doesn't become law. But if you put it there, it doesn't mean that you have to okay it. When the time comes for an application.
Full council. You know, we didn't do anything last time. Nothing got done last time because nobody could figure out what they wanted to do. And, you know, you can't wait and say, oh, well, you know, 6 years from now we'll have a full council and then we could go ahead and vote on this, because by that time you're gonna have trouble. You don't have to do anything. You can say, you know, don't have the planning board do anything right now. We can look at this again early next year. But one way or another, you're gonna have to figure out what you wanna do, because if you get somebody that comes in and says, you know, I wanna do this, and you don't have anything on the books, you know, to say that, no, you can't do it because we have this ordinance here, you know, then you're gonna have a fight on your hands, because there's nobody doing, you know, anything. And it's gonna be too late when somebody comes in and says, I wanna do it, you know, I wanna put this here, and you're gonna be like, oh, you know, you have two here and.
So you got to know, still not. When you went past, even can say yes, but still. We should get everyone here.
How am I gonna do that? I can't set them on fire and burn them in.
Well, they're getting paid to be here, so
That's
why?
right.
You tell them that. I've told them that
No,
many times,
no,
it doesn't
no,
do
that-
any good.
They all know that if we have to work on something, they should be here.
They
Gotta
should
be,
be.
they like it or not.
I should have a full council every time we have a meeting.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
But at least when something like this happens, and I mean, you don't always gonna get everybody here, because people had some issues due to the thing.
Right.
Probably don't have to come over here. But at least when it's something like that and people get advice, council get advice about it,
Yeah.
ahead of time, so they should be show up over here then. Because if they're taking this responsibility, only one or two persons over here, it's not right. Because something major like that, we need everybody input to it.
So you want me to hold this off until the next
Yeah, just
meeting?
call everybody, tell them to be here next meeting. That's it.
We'll see how good that goes over. I mean, I had to call around today because I couldn't get a hold of enough people to come to the meeting. I finally had callbacks, you know, to say, okay, I'm gonna be there.
Monthly thing, you know, it's not that it's one every 2 or 3 months. It become every month now.
Well, I'll put it on to the next meeting, and I will tell everybody.
No, they don't have to be, they don't want to, but we expect them to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least we can put this thing to rest.
Right.
To make everybody, and like you say. Okay, codification
Yeah,
of ordinance.
this is another thing, anything that says this E-code has to be, that's mandatory. And I think that's where the questions were the last time around, because it was like, I think it was like 2000. So you should have their little list in front of you. So that is, they said, because everything will be as they get it from us.
For them, why can't we just put it on the website if we have to type it up to give to them?
Right.
Like Jim Jadone said last time.
In an envelope for them, so when it comes time to recodify, everything's together and I just send it down. Yes,
Is everything on the website? Oh, there are about 20.
Wait.
It seems to me that if you guys have to type it up to give it to them, and they're gonna get all the money for your work.
well, we're not typing anything up, it's already done through the ordinances that you have passed as a council.
Right.
So, it's a copy that I give to you guys, is what I give to them.
Right. And how many times a year do we have changes? Yeah.
Well,
When you say
You
you
know,
you put them in a folder and you only give them to them once a year or twice
yes,
a year?
I give them to them, only as we talk about the codification and doing it, so I don't even
Right.
give it to them every year.
Okay,
So it could be 3 or 4 or 5 years.
okay,
You know, and I just keep the packet together and
right.
as we do ordinances, and I give it to them.
Mhm.
You
You want
know,
a printed copy in
and when we get them recodified, you all get the supplements to put into that book.
That's just my opinion.
Well, it's up to you guys what you wanna do.
You know, of,
Okay, fine.
Well, it's an obvious thing, you know, it looks like it's put together like a scrapbook.
Yeah, because the book is available. A lot of developing or anything here. We use it, yes, but I think that's what we should be doing at this point.
Is that a motion?
I would like to make a motion that simply,
I said to have them do it, have E-code do it, I mean, general code.
Link to them,
There's a link to general code.
right.
We have to do it, I think we should look at alternatives.
there aren't any.
Yes, there is.
Or
No.
can it be done at any time?
It can be done,
Month, 2 months.
anytime.
Okay.
And Debbie, you said this doesn't have to be done by law?
Why is the page different? Why is it?
Okay, well, I think the first part should be done, but we can come back to it when everyone is here.
So you're suggesting that the ordinance book be,
Or comments?
but it's not gonna be in the book.
Oh, gee.
We,
Well, we
it's
have
a,
to type it up, so it's gotta be somewhere.
At some point we change the ordinance, it has to be here, doesn't it? Yeah, if it's not in the book,
Right,
it has to be here.
Right.
So how many ordinances do we have here that not in the book? Do we know?
if I were representing somebody and you brought out an ordinance that's not in the ordinance book, the first question I would say, how do I know that this is really an ordinance? The ordinance book is the official document. And if it's not in the ordinance book, it's on a separate sheet of paper, I'm gonna question it, there's a reasonable doubt that it's really an ordinance.
Yeah. In your case, it's gonna be thrown out.
Well, what did they do in the past? I mean, they didn't retype the whole ordinance book every time somebody passed another ordinance.
No, it's done, when was the last time we did it, Jack?
Pardon?
No, I'm asking Deb, when was the last time we had it,
Official.
30 years ago.
probably like maybe
35 years.
2006.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, so you're talking about 15
2008,
years
something
ago.
like that.
16 years, and nobody complained in 16 years.
That is
Unbelievable.
true.
Moses was still here.
It's been done once since I was on council.
Right.
I mean, I agree with the attorney that, you know, it's better to do it electronically, because then you can just put it in and out, but.
No,
it's not, no,
right.
$1,000
It
for
is-
them to do that.
no. Electronically is one thing. That's putting it on the website. Having the actual book is another thing. The website is supposed to reflect what's in the ordinance book.
Right.
It's bound. Now, putting it on the website, that's a different story. I mean, we could probably do that ourselves at some point. But you really have to get, somebody
Why
says,
can't we just put it in the book?
how are you
You know,
gonna,
ordinance 10.1, now ordinance 10.1 is changed.
and where are you gonna put it?
Page out and
Oh,
retype
no,
it.
no, because, no, you can do that, but it's gonna look like it's gonna be, questions are gonna be raised. The paper is gonna be different, the font is gonna be different, it's not where it properly belongs, it's in a different page. Somebody could say, well, we still, you know, we had it updated.
It's updated.
You had to retype the whole book.
We didn't retype it. The people arranged the book so that everything flows properly. And it's reflected in the indexes. And it's reflected at the end of the book where there's an index. And there's a table of contents in the beginning, and there's an index in the back which shows you exactly where to go. And all the pages are uniform, the paper is uniform, the numbers are uniform, and it's an official document. Now, you're gonna shout as it wasn't done in 15 years or so, it comes out to be, how much is 15 into 6,000? It comes out to be,
All the pages fly all over the place because it's not in the book itself permanently. It's in there, you know, because we put it in there because we slid a piece of paper in.
Next meeting to also, get everybody here.
Trying to vote for
Yeah.
one time? Yeah.
Okay. I'd like a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion to open the meeting to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Do something or whatever. I said I wanted to do something or whatever, and he passed an ordinance regarding, Time Tuck said, if he came in and looked at the ordinance, he would say,
I don't think I've had a problem.
now what might happen is that, I'm looking at
you don't send them in every time.
the AHS and the ordinance and people them, I would question it if it's not in the ordinance.
I understand that, but the copies that Debbie had,
Right.
are they the same? Well, like I'm saying, we could have this codified today,
Well, we'll see. Is that what it is?
but it would be the same thing.
Well, exactly, except you're playing with one as opposed to maybe 50 different.
What, do we cancel?
The ordinances, they go by numbers, don't they? They go by numbers, the title.
Yeah, we
don't do.
How do you title an ordinance? Do you
Oh,
have
that'd be something.
They get go by numbers in the book, right?
No, there's no numbers on the ordinances.
You have to go to planning.
Oh, yeah.
I said it's like 10.5, we have an ordinance number.
Yes, it's part of the ordinance, it's part of that, it's part of that chapter.
Right, but I mean, the way I'm taking her question is, do I, like, we're in the year 2020, the first ordinance that we do is a 2020-1.
We do it that way.
No, I'm saying, no, I don't do it that way. The attorney's saying it falls under the codification, so you know what number it
Right,
comes
they
up
have a
that
number. So
way.
if you're going to change an ordinance, you're going to go to that ordinance that you have already in the book.
Right,
And you're going to make the changes, but you're going to use the same number,
Yes.
aren't you? So why wouldn't you put the change ordinance in by that one, so you know that there's a change?
It comes out if an ordinance runs for a full page, and then you wanna put an additional part into that ordinance, you wanna amend the ordinance,
I understand.
or you wanna delete the ordinance, part of the ordinance, it would have to be on a separate page. You just can't force it out, you'd have to make a separate page showing what the new ordinance is, and there's no place to put it.
Well, if I recall, if you go on the state website, when they do any kind of bills or anything, they have the old one, and then they will have maybe an italics, or cross it out and have the italics in the new part. Why don't they do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll have the ordinance, and then when she hasn't had a problem,
Thank you, John.
Awarded the contract. They already billed the borough for the schools and incorporated the busing. It's already been done.
Is that a contract?
No, they have a contract, they were awarded.
Your bus company?
Yeah.
That bus company?
June of this year, the Dover Board of Ed awarded the contract to ESC.
right, but ESC is no longer in business.
They're still in business, they're just not gonna be busing it
Right.
at the end of the year.
Right.
Alright, regarding the property maintenance inspector, because he's been talked about a lot, writing anybody up for zoning violation, I will contact the state, DCA, and I will send a copy of all his past reports, including current, because he's trying to enforce zoning, he is not certified for.
Payment to them.
Okay, I answered that. And also, I talked to Debbie about this. You guys want another project? Why don't you put a sidewalk when you do the milling and paving on Coolidge? You know how many times people come around this corner at night, so you have someplace to walk on? And it won't impact any of the property owners, they can pull their cars up a little bit, and you'll have plenty of room for, coming this way, you have to stop. But just to give you something to think about. Let's see what else. In regards to this whole thing with codification, I think you guys got a lot of thoughts flying around, the attorney's talking about a lot. But I couldn't find anything that said codification of the ordinances by law has to be done. The only thing I could find, and I'm gonna read it to you. You print out the pages that are changed, they go in a 3-ring binder, which is what everybody has, even the planning board. Any problem? And as far as putting it on the website, you can, because other towns do it. They have the website company that's hosting your site, put the actual ordinance book online that's in readable format. You don't have an outside company that you have to deal with E360 or whatever the name of the company is now. Yes, it is a nice service they have, but it costs money. But you can have it on your own website without anybody else being involved. Well, once it's there, it's there. So something to think about.
Thank you, Jim.
But don't waste money on codified ordinances that are not required by law.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone else from the public?
About ordinances, see if we could revisit the ordinance for the noise and gathering and party. So it can be read, I shouldn't have to hear it inside my house while I'm trying to watch TV. If you have to go across somebody's property, you shouldn't have to hear that noise level. This is like, we need to visit this somehow. It's getting out of hand. And, nowadays things are not that great for property owners to be not to that. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the parking again. People are parking wherever they want. You got people that have driveways. They also have parking underneath them. The other thing was open fires. That's another thing that might have to be visited in the ordinance. Because I see, just today, I was coming out, somebody underneath a tree was burning leaves. By the time I left, they were done. And it's not a propane tank fire, so they're cooking with with whatever liquid that shoots up. And that's basically it. And I would like to see something done. Anyway, how do we know if it's going to be visited?
The shed for cooking?
Oh, that was on my corner. Adams and Smith's house. Keith Smith's house?
Oh, on Monroe.
Oh, on Monroe.
On Monroe.
Yeah.
They were burning in the backyard, so you can.
The volume of the noise. In other words, you have to have it written that as quantifying the volume of the noise. In other words, you have to have it written in decibels. And the police department, which we don't have, would be able to come along and say,
in your property and you go to the next door and you can hear the noise, then it's exceeding. If I'm inside my house and the house is locked up, and I have to turn off the TV so I can hear my TV, it's exceeding.
No, it's gotta be a specific.
Okay, but that's where you and the council and whatever needs to do something to revisit the ordinance so it can be
A technical problem. First of all, you're gonna call the state police because they're violating the ordinance. God knows when they're gonna get down here if it's a noise ordinance. It's a practical problem.
Well, the magic word is defund. They can't do it, then why? Somehow we're paying
We
taxes.
never had a problem.
I understand.
So that's the magic word. They're not coming around here enough. They don't,
I'm sorry, parking in the street, street
Right.
parking, what is the rule to that? You
That
guys,
there's, you can park on,
okay.
there's signs up where you can park on one side of the 12 to 7. I don't know, I'll have to check.
Because I was just thinking about making revenue into town of permit parking for, you know, guests.
Right.
If you have any, that's, you know, you can charge as much as you want. And in regards to the state police, I know Attorney Feintuck was saying, which I agree, you don't know when
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
coming. Well, yes, absolutely. But I do truly think the state police does need to patrol a little more in the town. Absolutely, you don't see them come out. You really truly don't unless you call them for something, and it can take them 20 minutes, it could take them a half hour. You know, we have, right across the street for Randolph, you know what goes on there. And it could take them for an hour to get over there and everything is done by then.
Well, the
Right.
mayor and I will be talking to the new lieutenant, they just got a new lieutenant again.
Yes,
They come to NECON to retire. So I have his name, we're gonna set up something,
because it would be nice to see them patrol more often, you know, feel the town is safe. And you know that you feel safe walking at night, if it's any time at night, you know? So,
You know, we're in treacherous territory there, because the state police are killing the police department.
yeah, I know Granville, there's
And
one.
there have been, there's been movement in Trenton to do away with what they're doing. And if that's done,
Right, right. But you shouldn't have to also call if there's an emergency and see how long
Right.
they're
well,
gonna
I agree.
be, you know, be coming and showing up.
well, we will discuss that with them when we see them.
That's all I have. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Steve. Anyone else from the public? I'd like a motion to close open meeting to the public.
Motion to close to the public.
Second.
Second.
You got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'd like a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I thought there was no parking. Huh? I said I didn't remember.